All right, let's see if this works. Hi guys, welcome to the Beer Devil. I am Chris Quinn. We are well underway today in the store here. Nice fall Saturday here in Chicago, and I was putting my daily tasting together, and I just had so many ryes. I was like, well, let's do this rye, and let's do that rye, and let's do this rye. And then I thought it was such a shame to have all these ryes and not do a show. I went on to the website, and there's a little search function, and even I at this point forget what shows I've done. So I said, have I ever done a Rye IPA show? So I hadn't, and I said, well, seems like I should probably record this then. So warning, right, and apologies, I guess, more than a warning. There will be lots of stops and starts to this one. Don't worry, it'll just be a little transition. We'll see if we can get through it, see if this makes sense. I'm gonna be a little rushed, but I think I should be able to get through this. I got 4 Rye IPAs to taste for you guys. And let's just have some fun. Let's just blast through this one. Rye IPAs, the one caveat I will say about this is, you know, some people are diacetyl blind. Diacetyl is a defect in beer that some people just are blind to. They cannot smell it. I am not one of those, but I might be rye blind. I am not the best at picking out rye. So you're about to listen to a guy talk about Rye IPAs who is self-proclaimed rye blind. That said, rye, very traditional grain, brewing grain, usually used in small amounts because it can be very difficult to brew with. The grain itself doesn't have the husk that barley does, and it can get kind of gummy, and as a result it can junk up the works when you're brewing, and a lot of brewers really hate brewing with it. I think some of them have gotten some techniques down, so you see it more and more now. We did have the original Rye IPA on the show. That was the Bear Republic Hop Rod Rye, if you're interested in seeing that one. Absolutely lovely beer. Had one last night, in fact. And just a really great show. So check out the Bear Republic episode if you're interested in seeing about that one, you know, kind of where this style came from. I've got 4 beers here, and I'm probably gonna kind of pick and choose. This is what it looks like when you come into the store. If you were coming into the store and going to do one of the daily tastings, this is pretty much exactly what it would look like. If it was these beers, you know, I have a bunch, so you can take one if you want. Sometimes the daily tastings aren't beers that I have for sale, but today they all are, so that's a good thing. So let's start with a classic. This is the Reds Dry IPA from Founders Brewing in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Gone to 4 packs. We've got, all these beers should be somewhat fresh. This stuff was bottled less than 2 months ago, about a month and a half. So let me turn off the music, why don't I? I'll turn the music down. We'll get a little bit of a background music going. So really nice red color. These rye beers tend to have a lot of some darker malts in there, some red malts. You don't need to, though. You can have a light colored malt, or a light colored rye beer. You don't need to have these red rye beers, but it tends to lend well to the rye. I think kind of the spicy pepperiness that you get from rye, a little bit more malt body, I think often is good. Although now you get some of these, you know, Rye to Tiger from Three Floyds, and that's pretty good too, and heavy on the rye. So really nice. I mean, I get rye bread. A lot of people don't, but I get like a rye bread character, a little bit of like a spiciness, but not like a black pepper, more like a rye bread. How when you eat some of them, they have that like tingle to it. It also has a little bit of toffee and caramel in it, quite a bit. And then some earthy hops as well. I'm getting some bark and some wood. Really nice beer, a good amount of sweetness to it. You do get that peppery rye note. The bitterness is fairly strong, and I think you need to have a lot of bitterness because there is so much sweetness as well. And I do get the rye at the end as well, along with the the hop bitterness, which is clean. You do get that, I could just say, for lack of a better term, peppery, spicy tingle. The aromatics that I was getting in the nose, like the hop aromatics, I don't get quite as much on the mouth. I think it's overpowered by some of the other flavors of the malt and the rye. And a really lovely creamy mouthfeel as well. Really solid beer. I get the rye. Yeah, I like it. You know, I'll go 90 for the Reds Rye. It's a solid, you know, it's a winner chicken dinner. So, moving on. Will I get through the next one? Let's see. This is the new Rye IPA. I think this is the first time they've made this one from Smutty Nose. This is their Rye, with a H, like a rhinoceros, IPA. Man, I don't know if my palate's gonna make it through all these. You can already see that it's much lighter. Similar alcohol level. I'm trying to bump it up in alcohol. That's the way I'm going. So you're at 6.6. Now we're at 6.8. This beer was bottled. Well, I don't have a bottle date on this one, but I received it, in my store about 2 weeks ago. And it's a new seasonal, so it should be rather fresh. Much more of a golden color here, a little bit hazy, not crystal clear. Yeah, much more of an orange amber color here. Big head to it as well. A lot of times rye and oat and wheat can be used as head retention malts. In fact, sometimes those are used in very small amounts just to help with the head retention, because I think they've got these long chain proteins that help keep that foam nice and stable, and that certainly is the case. I mean, look at this thing. It's a huge, fluffy head, like just coating the glass with foam. That's pretty awesome, actually. Really, really nice. This has more of a biscuit and marmalade nose to it, with a little bit of that rye spice on top. I do get more of the, I get some of those same woody elements too, but it's that orange blossom, almost like the Centennial hop thing that I tend to get. Yeah, nice orange blossom. It smells very nice. I don't get the same amount of pepperiness to it, but then again, I am rye blind. Just a wonderful smelling beer. Yeah. Love the mouthfeel on this one. It's soft. It has that nice fruity element to it, like a sweet orange. That then you get some of that pithiness to it. Like you were peeling an orange and you left too much of the white pith on it, and you're eating it and it's got some of that bitterness to it. And then right at the end you get some of that rye spice as well, right at the back, along with the hop bitterness. Really nice, aromatic, a little bit lighter tasting, even though it's higher in alcohol slightly than the Reds Rye. I think just the lighter, the use of less kind of specialty malts kind of lightened it up and made it more drinkable. In fact, I would like to see this one in a 4-pack. That said, it's still a pretty good price for a bomber. And yeah, really nice. I'm gonna go 92 for the Rye PA from Smutty Nose. Just a lighter, hoppier, a little bit cleaner. Not cleaner, but just less of that pepper and more of an IPA than a rye beer. So yeah, there we go. All right, stepping it up quite a bit. Which one should we go with next? Should we go? We'll go with the Bittersweet Lennys. This beer is, let's see, I should have it right here. All right, we are at about a month and a half on this guy as well, just over a month and a half. This is from Schmaltz Brewing, the Hebrew Brewing Company in, I think it's Clifton, New York. They've had this one out for a while. Really nice beer, strong as well. I mean, what's the alcohol on this one? I think this is up at like 9 or 10%. It's a big boy. Rye double IPA. Lennys, our Bittersweet Lennys Rippa. Rye Double IPA. Back to the darker colors, even darker than the Reds Rye. It's got some brown in it as well. Crystal clear, really nice looking beer here, and a nice fluffy head as well. Yeah, really, really lovely color. Whoa, oh my God. This smells like those root beer barrel candies. It's out of control, and I don't remember this beer smelling like this. Or a birch beer. It smells like birch beer or something. And those barrel roll, I think that's what they're called, the hard candies, those little barrels, the root beer barrels. So it's got like a rooty candied apple thing going on, maybe would be another way to put it. You do definitely get some of that spice, some of that sassafras, you know. Not bad. It smells to me like it might be cloyingly sweet. I don't know. Then again, it's a double IPA, so there's probably a lot of bitterness to balance it. Let's see. Aggressive, big, boozy. A lot going on here. There is a lot of sweetness and a lot of bitterness. That's what you kind of need to counteract these beers. You know, all bitter beers need some amount of sweetness to counteract it, and all of these big sweet beers need some bitterness to balance them out. And there's a lot of both, and you taste them both, but since there's so much sweetness and so much bitterness here, it tends to work pretty well, in this case anyway. And you get some heat. I mean, it's 10%, and you can tell. I mean, I'm getting some warmth here. So it starts out pretty much mimicking the aroma. I'm getting that candied root beer thing, and then immediately you're like, whoa, the bitterness kicks in, and it kicks in a lot faster than you get on some other beers, and then it continues to grow and continues to grow, and the sweetness that you tasted is more of just like a lingering flavor in your mouth, just that kind of that candied fruit nose to it. And then as the bitterness grows and grows and grows, the heat also does like a kind of a slow burn thing as well. Aggressive beer, pretty good. It's a pretty good beer, man. It's a hard one to judge too. I think I would want some food. I'd want some like really good cheddar, like a really good sharp cheese with some fat in it to really help kind of cut through some of this bitterness. But if I had that, I think I could have a really fun time with those two things, just kind of going back and forth with them. I'm gonna go 92 on this one as well. It's so different. This is much more sessionable, just an enjoyable, I really want to drink this beer. This is like, whoa, what have I got my hands on? I'm not sure, but I think I like it type of thing. Very cool. If you can pick one up and you can get one fresh, I highly recommend you do so. Cool. I haven't had that one in a while. I've had it a bunch of times, and I just didn't remember it being at all like that. So last but not least, I certainly hope, is the local boys from Pipeworks. This is their latest in the Ninja vs. Unicorn Epic Battle series. This is Reaper vs. Unicorn. And from what I hear, they call this one a rye barley wine, and I think it took its base from an earlier beer they did last winter, or earlier this winter in 2013, called Santa vs. Unicorn, which was like an American-style barley wine. If you ask me, it was a double IPA with some malt to it. So this I now consider a rye double IPA with some malt in it, but I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. Big boy, another 10%er, Reaper vs. Unicorn. Just came out, pours the darkest of any of them. And let's see, got all of the artwork on here. The Grim Reaper is being stabbed by the ghost of a dead unicorn. And the Reaper is a skeleton, but the the horn is still spurting blood out of the Reaper. So somehow there's blood in his bones and it's getting shot out. Really lovely, clear mahogany color. The lowest amount of head on any of them. Let's go, but still nice, really nice kind of burnt autumn colors. Quite a bit of rye here. Rye, a little bit of caramel, some brown sugar. Maybe a hint of like cocoa powder. Some fruitiness, some apple. It's not, my mouth is watering from the smell. I do get some of that same kind of spiced note as well, but not nearly as much as some of the others. So this one is, I'd say, a rye barley wine. It's bitter. It's got some fruity hop flavors to it, and some probably fruity malt flavor as well. Fruity, like apple and orange. Maybe even a little bit lighter, like a green banana, something like that. Or plantain or something. Some booziness, some kind of booze-soaked cherries or booze-soaked, I guess, apples. Aggressive on the rye and hop bitterness at the end. Certainly a sipper. Kind of out of sorts. I mean, I think I definitely went in the right order here. Interesting beer here. I do like it. I think this would be another one that would go very well with cheese. Maybe like a blue cheese would go really well with this beer. I'd love to try that, actually. Yeah, solid offering from these guys. Yeah, good stuff. Not as hoppy as the Santaverse Unicorn, but still pretty friggin' hoppy. I might take that back. Yeah, that's good. I'll go 90 with this one as well. Yeah, solid beer. I like it. Yeah, there you have it. 4 Rye IPAs / rye barley wines. 4 completely different beers. So even within such a small niche as like a hoppy rye beer, you pick 4 and they're 4 different takes on it. It's not even like we're all gonna go for the Rye IPA style, you know, we're gonna make it a red and stuff like that. Really cool. So it's worth exploring, you know. I think it's worth trying a couple of them. If you don't like one, that doesn't mean you don't like Rye IPAs. Give a couple a shot. If any of these sounded like something that was interesting to you, pick one up, you know, and see how our palates calibrate. Yeah, so there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this somewhat spontaneous Rye IPA show here. Thanks so much as always. I always appreciate the comments and the emails that you guys send. Yeah, come on down and who knows what I'll have open whenever you come by. I don't know. I might edit that out right there. I think I will. Yeah, I definitely will now. Anyway, guys, thanks so much. As always, until next time, I've got some interesting and eclectic rye beers to drink. And you should go out so you can too.